Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Neph Mom, and I wanted my first video to be about me just coming to introduce myself. Sorry, I'm in my car, but I said, I've been procrastinating to do this, and I said, I don't even think I said, I believe God was like, the time is now, and you have to do this, and stop procrastinating. So first, let's address the elephant in the room, my emoji. My emoji is Neph Mom, and I am my emoji. I would say that social media and me have this weird relationship. I do use it, but I am still a little new. And with everything that I'm sharing, at least for now, I think my emoji just helps me to express myself better. So I made her and I am gonna use her. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll take her off. But for now, I feel like this is my safest. Like I feel like I can express myself better with her without worrying about a bad hair day or anything like that. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way, and this is probably going to be a little bit of a longer video. Hopefully you guys stick around. If you have already stuck around for this long, welcome. Let me tell you why I started this channel. My lovely Neph baby was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome in January, and before then we had really like nothing wrong, no allergies, nothing really, just regular sicknesses that children get, but nothing major. I am not really sure, and I think that's the hardest thing, right, guys? Who I'm sure you're here because your kiddo was diagnosed as well. The hardest thing sometimes is not really knowing what caused this. I know that's how I felt. I didn't even know that it existed. So I know that we are a pretty small population of people, and it's a really rare thing to happen. So nobody told me. I didn't know this thing existed. This is not the first thing that's ever happened to her that I didn't know existed. But when she was smaller, she had a little labial adhesion, and I've never heard of that either. But apparently when you have a little infant, sometimes their opening doesn't open all the way, and I thought she may need surgery, but God is so good. And just a little A&D and it was gone. But for those who have young daughters, that is a possibility. I didn't know that existed either, and I'm finding all these things out. TMI for those who don't want to hear about those things, but I was just showing that there are a lot of things out there that we just have no clue about, and nephrotic syndrome was one of them. Only thing I can think of is my baby, or my child. She's not a baby. She had pneumonia in November, and she was given azithromycin for it. And then in December, she had this cough that would not go away. It just would not go away. So they gave her some more azithromycin. I didn't think anything of it. I don't know if it could have been both sicknesses back to back. Maybe it was the pneumonia. Maybe it was the azithromycin. I don't know. But I got a shock of my life in January. Most people, that's the biggest question, right? Is like, how did you even know? Like, how did you figure this out? Well, I have a very observant sister, and she said, hey, she's looking a little swollen, and I didn't notice any swelling. It was just like slightly, but I told her, no, she's not swollen. What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, throughout the week, she's just looked a little bit more swollen. And I said, I don't see any swelling. Well, she was right, because the next day her eyes were swollen, her lips were swollen. She looked like a big puffer fish. Like, she looked like Hitch during his allergic reaction. She just was swollen, and that's exactly what we thought. We said, oh my gosh, I don't know, she wasn't eating anything that was different, but we said she must have an allergic reaction. I took her to her pediatrician, and they started to run blood tests on her to see, could it be an allergic reaction? What could it be? She also told me there was something else. It's escaping me right now, but it's something that could lead to like maybe mono. That it could be. She said to take listen for any belly pains. But my daughter was like a tiny mite. She's 6, but she was only like 39 pounds. And then when she went to the doctor, she was 40. The next day, she had gained 4 pounds, which is absolutely unheard of for her. And she was complaining of her belly hurting. So I took her to get an ultrasound. And it was my mother does ultrasound. So she told me, she's because she does ultrasound, she never wants to go to the ER. She never wants to go to the doctor. And this time she was like, we need to go to the ER. There's fluid in her belly. She was concerned, and that started getting me concerned. And I don't know about you moms, but this is my only. So I was really concerned. I was starting to get scared. I was starting to get really nervous. And when we first went to the ER, the doctor kind of tried to tell her like, no, nothing, we're gonna do some tests, but we're not, they weren't really thinking much. But they did tests, they did her urine, and then they came back and said, yes, she has something called nephrotic syndrome. Now, first off, if you're on this channel, just know that I love God and I love Jesus. So you're gonna hear about Jesus all throughout here. So if you don't want to hear about Jesus, if you're still watching, you should stop watching, because this channel loves Jesus. And God is good, because I was able to be blessed with a mother who knew that she was, sorry guys, I'm getting a call, let me just do that, who knew that something was wrong, and a sister who was observant enough to see just all these things, because it's not something that this is not the first thing that they would diagnose, because it's so rare. They would think, the doctor told me, the first thing that they think of is allergic reactions. So God is good that we were able to figure this out when we figured it out. So we immediately got we told that the next day we need to go to a nephrologist. And this is when our whole world changed, right? And let me say this, we wake up with healthy children all the time, so many of us, and we take that for granted. I know I sure enough did. We take for granted our children's health, like as if it's an entitlement. Like we are supposed to have our health. Our children are supposed to have our health, but it is a blessing from God. So God is just so good. He blesses us every morning that our children wake up. And every morning that our children wake up, that they're okay. And I really feel like I took that blessing for granted, and I will never do that again, because I'm going to tell you, no matter what's going on, if your children wake up and they're healthy and nothing is wrong, oh my gosh, thank God every morning. Thank you. It's not a right, because one day it could be taken away. And it was, as far as just like her being completely healthy. And I was in shock. I was literally in shock. And my heart was breaking for my child, because there's no restrictions. And then within a day, they're like, she needs to be on Lasix, which is to take, it is a water pill that helps get the water out, because she was like 4 pounds of water, and that she couldn't drink that much water, and she had to be on a high dose of prednisone. And there was a lot of ifs. They were saying if she responds to the prednisone, then that's great. If she doesn't, then we may have to do a biopsy. But let's see if this is our first round. And I don't know. But I want you to know, if your mind goes to the worst, it's okay. It's okay, Mom. It's okay, Dad. If there's enough dad in here, it's okay. This is a shock. If this is first happening to you, you might feel like you were punched in the gut. I know I did. I said, what is happening? And what do you mean, my daughter? I was crying. I am a very emotional person, and I cried, and I was scared, and I said, what are we going to do? What if it doesn't work? They said she had to be on a low salt. Then they said a low sugar diet, and I said, a low sugar and a low salt? Oh my gosh, that's nothing. And in the first week they said no salt, and there was nothing. It's like nothing I could do could make the food taste okay. And I think my heart just broke for my daughter. My heart broke to know that she couldn't be a normal kid anymore, and that she was on these prednisone and all these things. And I was actually kind of getting in fights with people, because they were like, you have to be strong and you have to stop crying. But I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do that. So if you are having a hard time, it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay, because we hurt for our children. We hurt for our children. But then we have to know that there are things that we can do to help them. And I know I searched out for a community, and let me tell you, I was having a hard time finding the community. I went on Facebook, and actually, I don't even know what I did, but one of the groups, I don't know if they just didn't believe me or what, but they did not accept me. And I just wanted other moms to talk to. And that's why I built this channel, really, because I know that it's hard, and there's different types of nephrotic syndrome. So there are some that are more severe than others, but I want us to be able to know that we are here for each other. Please, if you're watching and you want to put stuff in the comments about what's going on with you, there is no hate accepted on this channel. Everything is just love, even if we do it wrong. And listen, I'm going to be sharing some advice that I did, and if it's wrong, because it could be, I'm a new mom to this. If we have some OG Neph moms in here, please, with love and grace, of course, please say, hey, this is not the right way, or hey, this is what I've had in my experience, and help me along my journey. And I'm here to try to help you guys along yours. Now, she had to be homeschooled for 6 weeks, and she was immunocompromised for that week, for those weeks. But within the first week, she responded. But let me tell you, that was a long week, and I called all my prayer warriors. And the first 2 or 3 days, she wasn't responding. And I was asking God, like, hey, God, like, I know God can give and God can take away. And I'm okay with that, because you're God. But I was crying out every night, and I said, God, are you going to heal my daughter? Or is this it? And I have to be okay with it. I need you to tell me which way I need to go. And that next day, the very next day, she started to respond. God is so good, and he's so faithful. And he's the God of the hills, and he's the God of the valley. And we have to hold on to him. We can't push away, because that's what the devil wants. The enemy wants us to push away in hard times. But mama or dad, don't push away from God. Lean into him. Lean into him on the times where you are struggling, when you're getting these new things that are hard and scary for parents. Lean into God. And I did. And within the week, she was negative. She had to take her high dose of prednisone for 6 weeks, and then another low dose. And then she was done. Excuse me, my face is a little itchy today. I think I have a hive. That's a whole nother story we're not going to get into. I think I might be allergic to something. I don't know. But I thought we were done. I was like, yes, we're done. We made it. And I thought everything was okay. Even though they prepared me that she could relapse in the first year, I was like, nah, she's not going to relapse. Everything's going to be good.